Hey there entrepreneurs, did you know that happy employees can impact your customers' experience? Staff morale can play a huge part in affecting the customer's experience, in a good way and a bad way. So in today's video, I'm going to explain how staff morale impacts your customers and share basically some actionable tips to boost morale within your team. Plus, I've also got a free customer profiling template which you can download to better understand your customers and help you connect with them. So grab it from the link in the description down below. And don't forget, I also have a podcast called the Customer Care Channel, and I release an episode every Friday at 8 AM teaching all about this stuff: customer experiences, customer services, staff morale, employees, all of that. So let's get started. So the reason I wanted to do a video on this is because I was talking about the 4 Ps, and I was explaining how people can impact your customers in a positive and a negative way, no matter where the staff are placed within your business. It doesn't matter whether the customer service team, the sales team, research and development team, no matter where they are, they can impact your customer's experience. So when your staff is basically motivated, and when they're engaged and when they're happy, they basically bring a positive vibe, a positive energy into their interactions with the customers. That energy is then obviously absorbed by the customer, and it can turn into a really good customer experience, or even a great one. However, when staff morale is low, this also is absorbed by the customer. So if you're on the phone with a customer, or if you're interacting via email, social media, whatever it may be, if you're giving off a vibe of moodiness or can't be botheredness, your customer will feel that within your writing or within the tone of your voice if it's over the phone, for example. And it shows in poor service, and it can even lead to customer dissatisfaction. So you need to really be on point with this and keep an eye on this, because I do see in a lot of places, and I've worked in some places where staff morale is actually really low. And what it does is people, for example, they take longer breaks, they don't turn up to work, or when they're doing the job, they're not actually working. Little things like that, that kind of the person's passion's just gone, and it's a shame to see, but it's usually because whoever is managing or putting these rules in place are kind of suffocating their staff members, or they're making the environment really hard to work in. So it's just something to keep an eye on, especially if you're a manager. Allow your staff to breathe, because when they can breathe, they bring in ideas, they provide a better service, and as a whole, the team is happier, and it's a happier place to work. So just keep that in mind, because studies show that businesses with high employee engagement actually report 23% higher profitability than those without. So just keep that in mind. Keeping your team happy isn't just good for them, it's also good and smart for your business. You can, obviously, if you're in a situation where you've got really bad staff morale, and even if you're not actually, you can start by having really clear and open communication with your team, asking them how they feel, maybe in one-to-ones, or even even in a team meeting, because people might not want to tell you in a one-to-one. But if you don't ask them, they can't tell you. So just ask them how they're feeling, how do they find working at your business. You could even do an anonymous survey. That might help. If you're finding that they won't speak to you. But employees need to feel heard. Like a customer needs to feel heard, employees do too, in order to feel valued, basically. You could hold regular one-to-one meetings or regular team meetings so that people can bring things to the table and say, can we talk about this week? This is really affecting me. And then basically they're sharing updates. You need to encourage that feedback so that you can do something about it as well. So you're finding that the team's all breaking apart. You need to think about how you could do team building activities, for an example. So when your team basically feels included, the morale will improve. So just take that into account. So a great way to do this as well, to up the morale, and I'm big for this as well. When I was working as a manager, I was really keen to give out recognition when it counted, because recognising someone's great work with basically a shout out or a bonus or an award or a gift card or whatever that may be really boosts that person's morale, and it actually keeps them working at that level for a bit longer. So it encourages them to carry on, and it also encourages the team, because they're thinking, oh, I want a bit of that, I want a gift card. And it's even just saying, like, simply saying thank you to someone and letting them know that you've recognised that their work and their effort that they have put in was reciprocated and really meant a lot. It can really go a long way when boosting morale. So, you know, everybody loves being appreciated. The next thing you can do is, which you should be doing, not you can do, you should be doing, is investing in your team's growth by offering training and mentorship or even career advancement opportunities. And if you don't have the money to, there's loads of trainings online, free training that you can put your staff onto, that one will improve their learning, that they will become more knowledgeable, and not only that, it'll actually impact your business in a positive way as well, because they have more skills. So that's obviously two positives in one. So when employees actually see a future in your company, they're also more likely to stick around, and they're more likely to be engaged and motivated. So they'll motivate other people as well within the team. The workplace should also feel welcoming and supportive. You should be approachable, because I think some managers are just not approachable. You should be approachable, because all you're going to get out of your team if you're not approachable is someone telling you what I've done that day. You're not going to get any feedback. You're not going to get people kind of saying, well, what if we do this? Which is, let's be honest, the whole reason why you employed them in the first place. They're the ones with the brains in the subject, in that role. So being welcoming and supportive is key. You need to encourage teamwork. You need to make sure your staff have the tools and, you know, the software and everything they need in order to do their job and succeed. And you also need to celebrate diversity within the team. This way you will bring in all different new ideas, which will obviously benefit your business in the long term. And lastly, this is such a big one, is to respect work-life balance. Now, I did work at a place years ago. I'm not going to name them, but because it wasn't the company really, it was the manager that I had. And I would work 9 to 5, and I also did on call for a week every 3 weeks. So within this business, I would always turned up early because I had to get across this certain bridge to get to work. So, and if I didn't rock up early, I used to get stuck on the bridge. So I used to get in like sometimes like 30, 40 minutes early, and I'd start working. And at 5 o'clock, I would get up and I would leave, because at 5 o'clock I needed to be somewhere. I had responsibilities outside of work, and let's be honest, I was working 9 to 5. There should have been no issue. And there was the odd comment made to me about, you're keen to leave, aren't you? I was like, hang on a minute, I've been here 40 minutes longer than I should have been already. And it also made me feel like when 5 o'clock was coming up, that I couldn't kind of pack up and leave and go, even though that was my contracted time. It made me feel really uncomfortable. even though I had somewhere to be, because I had a long journey, like 45 minutes to an hour to go to my horse, which needed feeding and all of that. So I needed to go. It was pitch black outside, it was dark, it was winter, and all of those kind of things. And this person was just affecting me in so many ways. And on another level, I used to do on call where I would be called out multiple times throughout the night, every day, and then work all day. And obviously the law in the UK is that if you're, from the last time that you have worked, I didn't know this at the time, unfortunately for me, but you are allowed, as far as I'm aware, to then have an 11-hour break and then go into work after. So say, for example, I was called out at 2 a.m. I would then be able to go back to sleep, and then 11 hours later I'd be due in work. However, I never knew this, so I used to just kind of have like a bit of a lie-in, and then I'd go in work, and I'd usually end up in work probably about 9:30, even if I have been up on call from 2 a.m. till 6 a.m. I would go back to bed, I would get up, and I would go in work. And comments were made that I wasn't in work at 9 a.m. And I just wish that I knew back then that I had an 11-hour gap, because I would have used my 11-hour gap, because obviously it's the law. And I just think, like, all that did for me, it made me so stressed going into work every morning. I may as well have been running out of the door every night at 5 p.m. because I hated it. And it wasn't the company, it was the manager that I had. The making me feel uncomfortable was the problem, and overworking me to the point of where my personality just went. And I was just like this zombie going in and out of work because I was so sleep deprived. But what I'm trying to say to you is respect work-life balance, because having flexible schedules, people have appointments to go to, people have responsibilities at home, and if they need to come in work half an hour early and you can accommodate that, let them, because it'll keep them happy and it'll keep them working for you for longer and longer and longer. And there's no reason why they can't, unless they're providing support and there's no one else to do it. Time off, if there's no reason why they can't have the time off, let them have the time off. Some people are quite controlling when it comes to things like this, and you need to make sure that your staff are getting the time off that they need. You need to encourage them to take their time off, because some people don't take it. Just don't understand that. And it also means that their mental health will be looked after. So providing mental health support can significantly reduce stress and increase employee happiness, which will then affect the customer experience, which obviously will keep your customers coming back for more if it's a positive customer experience. Sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but I hope that it made sense and what I was trying to explain to you about work-life balance. So remember, obviously, like I said, happy employees leads to a happy customer experience, and happy customers obviously will help your business grow because they talk about you in a positive way. And if you want to better understand your customers and build stronger relationships, do remember you can download my free customer profiling template, which is in the link in the description down below. This template will help you basically to gain insights into your audience, so you can basically align your team's efforts with what your customers truly value. There's no point, obviously, giving something to your customers that what they don't actually want. So if you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon for more tips to grow your business. And don't forget to listen to my podcast, the Customer Care Channel, every Friday at 8 a.m. And on there we'll basically be diving deeper into the topics and boosting staff morale, delivering exceptional customer experience and more. So obviously, thanks for watching, and remember, this is the Customer Care Channel, and I'm Lisa Baker. And if you invest in your team and you care for your team, your team will look after your customers. See you next time.